The Chaser Report is recorded on Gadigal land.
Striving for mediocrity in a world of excellence. This is the Chaser Report.
Hello and welcome to the Chaser Report with Dom and Charles. And today we've got a very special guest, Dom.
We do, because on Sunday night it was Australian television's Night of Nights. The night where Sonia Kruger somehow got the gold Logie, even though the Logies had migrated from Melbourne to Sydney, and generally she's against that kind of thing. Lachlan, Hodson, you were there.
Sorry, Dom and Charles, I don't talk to non-Logie attendees like you, so this is all just a charity thing that I'm doing now that I am an official Logie attendee.
A, fuck you. B, more after this.
So, Lachlan, just to clarify for everyone, you're our producer.
Yeah, just a producer.
Our lowly producer of this podcast.
I was shocked to get a text message last night from you, a selfie in the room at the Star Casino, clearly at the Logies.
Yes.
And I just thought, wow, Lachlan's career is going well.
Yeah, so what happened? Like, what did podcast producers, fuckwits, get to go to
I know
Logies?
podcasting's big now, and I know you're a networker.
You guys don't know about there's the new segment. It's like there's most outstanding podcast producer, most popular podcast producer. I wasn't nominated for either, of course. No, well, the Logies this year, there was the big move that Dom alluded to, the migration from Melbourne to Sydney. And I thought, hey, I'm only 23. That means I've got maybe 2 decades before I'm actually invited to a Logies for anything myself, because I won't be able to get on TV.
Very bold to assume that the Logies will be around in 20 years.
That's the issue, I think.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I thought, well, this is my only chance to go. May as well rock up. And I went with a fellow ex-intern of the Chaser, Xander.
Oh, yes.
We scoped the building
were
out.
you invited?
You're not with Star Casino.
You gate crashed.
You gate
We
crashed.
gate crashed the Logies.
I was assuming you were Sonia Kruger's date or something.
No, not Sonia Kruger.
You're white enough.
He's white enough. Yeah, he's got blonde hair. Yeah, I think that'd be just fine.
No, unfortunately, I haven't had enough work done yet to be able to qualify for any of that.
Look, we've been to a few Logies before on, invitation.
Which led to some of the inspiration as well, mind you.
And also, voiceover artist for this podcast, Beck Daynamino, was doing all the voiceovers.
The official we were invited, and my recollection of Crown Casino, certainly in Melbourne, which is the only place we've ever been to, the security is very tight.
Not tight enough, Dom. Not tight enough. Well, so Xander and I, do you recall this time during the election last year where Xander and a couple of the other interns and I went to go and prank Scott Morrison at a presser?
Yes.
And we turned up and I was like, maybe we should try and blend in by wearing, I don't know, a button-up shirt. And they all turned up in hoodies and Crocs.
Yes,
and we all
that's
passed
right.
away.
And didn't Xander turn up with no shoes on or something?
Yeah, no, he does that. I can confirm Xander and I were both wearing shoes. We suited up just for the occasion, and we'd scoped out the casino before, Star Casino. It felt a lot like actually being in one of those heist movies, because we were there to crash into a casino, security guards, a bunch of cops everywhere as well, and we had all the locations scoped out from the red carpet to all of the side exits.
I mean, traditionally a heist
quite a serious heist.
is where you get something quite valuable, whereas what you got was the ability to watch a much more tedious and more drawn-out version of the Logies than the one on TV, which was 3.5 hours long.
As someone who has now been to the Logies, I can give my full professional endorsement on just staying at home and watching them.
Not watching them.
Not watching them.
I watched Sam Pang's monologue this morning. That's all I watched, and it was very good. I thought
great.
Sam Pang was very funny. That's it.
Yeah.
You had about 6 hours more than you needed.
Yeah, because there was obviously a lot of stuff that I got to see that you guys didn't get to see. Did the submarine Lego joke make it into the final cut?
Because it was a
did.
setup
Okay.
for the later.
It was a setup.
A brilliant setup.
Brilliant.
Charles, you'll like this. Go and tell him what the joke was.
Yeah. So Sam Pang is delivering obviously part of the opening monologue. And Sam Pang said this.
And the most recent season of LEGO Masters saw contestants take on their biggest challenge yet, building social connections and interacting with other human beings. And a win tonight would cement LEGO Masters as Australia's premier entertainment show and also provide some comfort after the unfortunate episode where 5 contestants were lost in the LEGO Submarine Challenge.
Ooh, indeed. Yeah.
Very tasteless.
Yeah,
Too soon, some might say. Not us, but it's too late for us. It's not a topical reference for this podcast anymore. But
the only joke that I think was just as good as that, which was Carl's joke about Koshi here.
I heard Koshi say he loves bumps. Season 3. Did anyone mishear that? Because I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, the headlines tomorrow morning.
I think he's trying to make a cocaine joke here about Koshi on cocaine.
Yes.
Bump.
Oh, very clever.
Don't worry, Charles.
Yes.
You weren't the only one who didn't get it. As we just heard, no one else understood this joke. But yeah, no, breaking into the Logies.
So how did you do it? Was it...
How did we do it?
it's very impressive. I mean, did you fabricate some kind of incredibly, sophisticated disguise?
Yes,
Did you have because previously we've gotten into things with fake lanyards that we've done in Photoshop to look exactly like the real thing. Maybe a mate got you in. Maybe Tom Gleeson smuggled you in or something.
We did try to have a certain Rewcastle, Craig smuggle us in. And
he was there, wasn't he?
He was there. When I saw Craig, he was genuinely horrified that we were there. I think that we upset him quite a lot. So sorry, Craig,
he's changed.
for doing that.
He's changed.
We had no one on the inside. No one was willing to send us photos of their passes. So Xander and I, we got kicked out. We tried to walk onto the red carpet confidently.
I don't think you have passes.
Is this the first time in the history of Australia that two white guys haven't just gotten help from people who shouldn't have?
I know.
Had help before.
It's terrible. These are not the Logies that Sonia Kruger would stand for.
Craig's kicking the ladder out from behind him.
But we did see a few people walking onto the red carpet, which we couldn't get onto, holding some formal-looking red and black passes that had official Logies branding all over it. So we ducked out to Officeworks and built this.
Oh my God, that is great.
So we're looking at a black piece of cardboard with on a gold texter that someone's written the Logans on it and drawn a picture of what seems to be...
Don't let this person in.
Yeah.
Is the only thing you say. That is a very bad...
It's an extremely amateurish effort.
That is the worst forgery I've ever seen.
Well, the only worse, more amateur job was this one.
There's a red envelope with the word fake written on it in black text. Let's put these up on the Chaser socials.
That is great. And these got you in.
No.
These
didn't get us in.
I would hope not. I mean, it's in an age of Photoshop, it's almost an arrogantly shit job that you did putting that together.
We are striving for mediocrity.
I mean, my daughter can't get her letters the right way around, right? She does her S's backwards. She would have done a more thorough job than that.
Not even these, unfortunately, could get us in.
Right.
We tried suits. We tried lanyards that didn't have anything
a lanyard,
on them.
nothing else
a lanyard was clever.
Yeah.
But it turns out that you actually didn't need any of this stuff to get in. All you needed was to know the right button on the elevator. So we spent all this time trying to walk through onto the red carpet, getting brushed aside, a couple of side entrances that we checked out, which, again, we got told to move away from. And we're getting a bit tired at this point. We've been there for 4 hours just trying to walk in.
So the Logie security holds up for 4 hours.
They did. They held up for 4 hours, and then it got to about half an hour before the proper event had started at about 7 o'clock. And I just kind of go, Xander, look, I feel like tapping out. Can I just go grab a water? And I go, I have to pay for the water, so I didn't get any complimentary drinks. But I go and I buy this water and I bump into a staff member and she goes, oh, what did you pay for that one for? You could have got them for free at level 3. And I went, what do you mean? She's like, where the Logies are, level 3. You can't go to level 3 if you aren't part of the Logies. So you're going to level 3, right? And I went, oh, yeah.
Of course. Level 3.
Walked into an elevator, pressed the level 3 button, walked about 20 meters and found myself in the center of Australian TV's Night of Nights.
Extraordinary.
One elevator was all it took.
The Chaser Report. More news, less often.
Well, this takes me back to the first and best stunt we probably ever did, the race card, which was at the Wentworth Hotel where the Liberal Party victory party was. And there was a lift with me and one camera crew, and then another where we got on in one lift trying to get down to the ballroom where the victory party was. And there was another lift with Craig and another camera guy, Kev, our good friend. And Kev's lift, someone pressed down to stop it, and they got out directly on it, and we couldn't get in. Whoa. So my lift went all the way down to the just down to the ground. We couldn't get in. Yeah, but someone just pressed down, and there he was, bang in the middle of it. So always rely on a lift. This is the
Yes.
moral of this.
Yes.
Because
All
they're
we
not
need.
designed to be impenetrable because someone presses down or whatever or forgets to program level 3.
Yeah.
Boom.
Well, and that
Yes.
was the insane thing to me
Well,
because I had seen so many people with passes and cards that they were showing to security, and it turns out we could have just paid $100 to go to the Logies, but that would have been wildly
Is that all
overpriced.
it costs?
Yeah, there was a public tier this year for $100.
you don't want that.
Wow, they're getting desperate, aren't they? The thing's dead.
Come on, if I'm not going to the Logies by invite, it's because my invite got lost in the mail.
I mean, they should be paying you $100 to be there because there's a program for seat warmers, right? Like they pay seat warmers to be there.
That's what Craig thought Xander and I were.
And
yeah.
the thing is, it's so tedious that actually the seat warmers are forced to watch most of the ceremony while the celebrities who seat that they're in are in the toilet doing lines.
Well, they a few years ago, like about a decade ago, they made it so that you could only drink while you're in the auditorium.
Oh, yeah,
to try and encourage people. I think that was mainly because
of us.
Because of us.
When we first went.
We just told everyone, come out here and
We
drink.
go in the lobby. There was just drinks in the lobby, and you didn't have to watch the Logie, so everyone just was in the foyer.
I mean, that's the only way that anyone could have possibly enjoyed them. Charles sent a challenge to me very early when I told him I'd broken my way in, and you said, Charles, your challenge, should you choose to accept it, is don't fall asleep during every single acceptance speech. I can say that I didn't fall asleep. I just started contemplating suicide.
Well, this is, I mean, the best text I got, which I sort of mentioned to other people today, is that at the very end of the night, there's a text saying, honestly, I wish I'd just stayed in bed. Which is exactly what, I mean, the thing was still going, because I was vaguely curious about who won gold this year because there's some interesting. If Sean McAuliffe had won gold,
Lee
or
Sales.
even Lee Sales, that would have been interesting. Or if Sonia Krug had won it, we would have known that. Let's just say that various indiscretions in her professional past had been conveniently overlooked by the voting public. So yeah, I wanted to know who won, and I looked at online at 11:30. I thought there must be a mistake. They haven't announced
Still
who-
going.
and it's still fucking going.
It was long, and Beck over the voiceover had said very early on in the night, these speeches are to go for 30 seconds only. First award went to Colin from Accounts, and so Patrick and Harriet got up to accept it and went easily over 5 minutes in the first speech. And that was,
well, they killed at the BAFTAs as well.
Oh, yeah, they nailed it. But this was the problem. Then they won 5 more awards.
No.
And they went. Maybe they had to challenge themselves to go longer each time. Because on the 5th award, you're really going, oh, I've got to stretch this one out.
All right. Yeah. But I thought the only thing that was extended longer than that was Daryl Summers actually presenting the gold Logie. Did either of you see this?
No, God, no.
Yeah,
But I read this. Sorry, it was an auction.
Awkward and terrible.
So you never grew up with Hey Hey It's Saturday. So you don't realise the whole format was Daryl Summers extending
Just
out.
padding.
Padding.
With no content.
Three
we were
hours of
already
padding.
in there for an hour longer than we were supposed to be.
I mean, it was already the world's most tedious show.
Yeah.
Daryl's padding was actually the best thing about it because when the padding stopped, they had a segment, and that was shit house. So, but the other thing about Daryl is that he would have been up there whenever he does any public event. He's trying to get Hey Hey back on TV for the 23rd reboot. Like the man will even when he's in the grave, he's still going to be popping up going reboot. It's still a good show. So that's what it would have been. He would have been pitching another series of Hey Hey.
Well, I can't say that people would be saying no to him considering the state that they were all in there. I managed to actually walk up to, because everyone from the industry was there, and I'm just a lowly producer.
They just assumed you were meant to be there.
Yeah, exactly. And that was the only thing I had going for me.
No,
So
they
I got
probably thought you were some hot neighbours star.
I got to ask Koshi for investment tips. I got to say to Mick Malloy that I'm a big fan of Cracker Jack.
He would have loved that.
Oh, he did. He did love that.
I wish I'd known that because I went on his show this morning and was telling him about your adventures, and he was very happy about it.
Oh,
and I wish I'd said, did some dipshit mention Cracker Jack to you?
Yeah, because that was a joke.
No, well, look, I think it would have added something to have someone who. Because everyone there would have been very jaded and bored with it all. And there's one person who was probably in the first 10 minutes you were there, you were genuinely excited to be there.
Oh, livid. I was on top of the world.
Yeah.
And then the opening monologue finished.
Now, can I just ask? So you broached basically Star Casino security. Do you think maybe you can use the same method to get down to their vault?
See what I
mean?
Heist movies.
Like if you,
Ocean's 11.
Yeah,
to get into the casino vault.
yeah,
It depends. What level does the elevator go to?
You went to the level with all the gold Logies.
Oh, I see,
Yeah,
right.
a 24 karat gold Logie this year.
Whereas what you should have done is press the button to find out which level, or just ask the attendant.
Yeah.
Oh, you should have tried to get something valuable.
is the vault on? And they'll just go, oh, that's on level 2 or something.
Yeah, I will say it was sort of this kind of, when we were walking home at 1 a.m, I kind of had this weird point of contention where I'm like, that was almost too easy. Like, we were there for a long time, we kept trying, but the fact that we got in at all, like, I had a big microphone that I had in my pocket because I thought that I might be able to do an interview there, but that could have just as easily been
a shotgun.
Like a
yes,
shotgun.
Yes, you could have killed off the Australian industry. Oh, no, wait a minute. It's done that by itself.
That's Netflix.
There's nothing to kill.
Then obviously the night ended. So Sonia Kruger had won the gold, much to our demise, and we thought that's where we're tapping out. We didn't even want to go to any after parties.
Well, because it was in Sydney, there wouldn't have been any.
There wouldn't have
I presume
been.
though at midnight everyone had to go home.
Actually, did the police come and say, well, hang on, it's after 10?
Well, that was what
They
happened.
had to get an exemption for the Collins from Accounts speech.
When we were leaving, and we were kind of, admittedly, you know, we'd been a bit nervous that someone was going to bust and kick us out, because the funny thing was everyone else there was seated, and we were the only 2 people in the building who were just walking around from side to side over
course.
the entire
You could never
night.
sit.
So every time I made eye contact with someone, I thought, they know. But of course they didn't, because they were drunk off their asses. But when we did eventually leave, we walked past a massive line of security guards guarding the exit red carpet. And because we were probably some of the first people to duck out, I think they were a bit more cluey, and a security guard looked at me and he said, you know, if you leave now, mate, you'll never be able to get back in. And I said to him, that is the best thing I've heard all night.
Outstanding. Now, for your next trick, Lachlan, for 2024, do the same thing with a person of colour.
Is Sonia Kruger going to be there?
If she gets her way, you won't manage to achieve
will
that.
not be getting in.
Our Gears from Road were part of the Iconoclast Network. And Lachlan, congratulations.
Thank you, Dom.